Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Deathwish, Hotrods and Kustoms. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup.
Thank you very much for joining us on the Everblack Podcast. It's fantastic to finally have you guys coming out to Australia after, it's close to 40 years that you guys have been a band. Did you manage to make it out to Australia in the early 90s at all? I've just been looking for information on that tour and couldn't find anything. Was there a tour back in those days?
Yeah, we did. We went out there on the No Fuel Left for the Pilgrims album. We went out there and we spent some time doing promotion, and I think we played a benefit show and we played a club show in Sydney and in Melbourne. I think we played Sydney and Melbourne, yeah. And we had a local support band called Girl Monster.
Oh, okay.
And they were from Melbourne, I think. But anyway, I spoke to the singer, Sherry, she's called. I think they're going to turn up, at least some of them are going to turn up in Melbourne again.
How cool was that?
That'd be great. Yeah.
So, look, sorry, go ahead.
We were, and we went back for promotion only for the album that came after 2 years after that. So it's been 30 years since we've been to Australia.
Oh wow, it's certainly a good stretch of time. What's sort of been the impetus to come back this time round?
It was actually because this promoter, he just thought, okay, I'm gonna ask the guys if they want to come, and sure, we're ready to come, and that was the driver. And we've been looking for possibilities to go there again, but it takes some local people to tell us if we have a market and if they want to carry on with it. So that was that made the difference.
Absolutely. Look, and I'm very chuffed to be able to finally see you guys. We've only got about a week or so until you get here. So have you got your tickets and everything like that already? You all set? Are you all packed?
I'm almost all packed already. It's we're going by it's a 24-hour flight, so
yes, I've done that one a few times.
It's a long flight, but anyway, we'll manage, and we're gonna spend a couple of days before the first show in Brisbane. So, and it's a good time of year for us to go down there because it's beginning to get cold here, and it's nice and warm in Australia. So that's a good thing.
And absolutely good for you as well. It's not been too terribly hot here in Brisbane. Usually at this time of year, the temperatures are starting to climb up and it gets rather uncomfortable because it's not only hot, it's also humid. So you're coming at a lucky time that we've had such good weather. It's been beautiful during the day and cool enough at night you can actually sleep. So looking forward to having you in my town. So I'm in Brisbane, so I'll be coming to the Brisbane show. And with any luck, the guys from Silverback will be taking you all over the place to see all of our lovely sites around Brisbane here. Look, now your last album came out in 2019, Prayer for the Loud. So, but that was 7 years between that album and your previous album. What was the reason behind all of that downtime?
We did a lot of touring, and the scene is like nowadays. You tour every summer. There's keep coming more and more festivals all over Europe, and we keep being busy. And the reason it took so long, it's just we had we just couldn't agree on taking time off to write and record the album. And you need some time to do that and to do it properly. So it just, so if we couldn't agree on, taking some time out to do it properly, then that's just the reason why it took so long, really. It was a long time. Yeah.
Is that based on the fact that, like a lot of people within the industry, you guys have got stuff outside of the band that you do, and you need to sort of juggle those commitments?
No, I can only speak for myself. I can only say that I have a certain. If you make an album, I think that's more important than anything else you do. A new album. That's a message to tell everybody who you are, what you sound like, and that's to be taken very seriously. It's not something you do, in a hurry.
Don't just throw it
to
out
me,
there.
that's important. Yeah, I think it's so. So I'd rather wait than put out something that I'm not satisfied with. So
yeah, fair enough, absolutely. And I, not to be too over the top about it, but it is an absolutely fantastic album. I've been listening to it quite a bit over the last year or two, and really enjoying it, which is why I'm so chuffed when I first saw you guys advertised to come out. So, and given that we've had such a rough couple of years, it's good to see that live music's finally starting to make a comeback. How much has that impacted you? And given that the previous album came out just as COVID was starting to take hold, it would have really put a dent in what you've been able to do to promote said album.
Yeah, that was really a bummer, because we didn't get to tour enough on that album. And for instance, we had like 2 big arena shows in Denmark that we had planned in advance, and we were really looking forward to it in our hometown, the big arena in our hometown. And suddenly it was just first we tried to postpone it, and then COVID carried on, and then we just had to cancel it in the end. And that was a drag. So and then we just, like everybody else, we just had to do absolutely nothing. And I think it was very hard it was hard to do any work at all, I think, because you had no idea when this all was going to end. And it's hard to do any work when you don't know, if you can't plan anything. When's the next gig? When can you release anything? Is anybody even interested? And I mean, everything just stopped. I mean, all life just stopped. So it's just like,
certainly did. Everyone spent a lot of time alone at home.
Yes, and I think you couldn't even sit down and write music, because it was like, for what reason? It seemed so, like there was no energy, there was no inspiration. It was just like nothing. Yeah, it was very weird.
It's not led to a new D.A.D. album coming out anytime soon, then?
No, but we started writing last year. In the spring, we did some demos in the spring, and we are doing some demos around New Year's time again. And it's gonna be an album eventually, probably 24.
Less than 7 years, then. So almost 7 years. It's getting there. 5 years.
It's
very
5
good.
years. 5 years. Yeah.
You slowly bringing those numbers down. That's great.
Yeah.
So you guys have been a band now for close to 40 years, and for aside from switching out drummers over 20 years ago at this point, you've stayed the same lineup the whole way. I mean, given that it is yourself and your brother, how else have you been able to maintain what you've done over a 40-year career?
Well, that's the question. I think that you don't try not to think too far ahead or too far back. Try to stay in the moment. I mean, anyway, that's when you start out, you have dreams and aspirations and things that you wanna, goals you want to reach. But all that, that's you have that at a certain age. But I think nowadays, for me at least, it's like more like actually enjoying it, realizing what you enjoy, and try to emphasize on that. And then there's all the downsides, which are like all the traveling and being away from home, but all the time. But I mean, I still have this urge to make. I mean, to do a good job, really, to make a good show and write a new good song. And I think that what keeps it driving.
Yeah,
I must say, yeah. And I also think that one wise old man once said that any collaboration should be driven by necessity, otherwise it's unbearable. More or less, it's something like this. There has to be. You don't stay together just for staying together. You stay together because you need to, because there's something that all of you need to. I mean, this is what we do, for better or worse. And you can talk to anybody. They about their job, and it's like it's up and down.
Yeah, absolutely, as it would be.
But you got to do it.
And over 40 years, you guys will have seen some serious change. Everything from being signed to a major label in the early 90s to being a lot more independent over the last number of years. How do you feel about the way that things have changed within the industry, where you used to be able to make money out of selling records, and now it's having to sell merch and get on the road more often? Is that how have you guys managed to deal with that?
Well, for us, it's been. I mean, of course, the fact that you don't make money selling records, that's drag. But when. I mean, we are fortunate that we are performing, and live audience it's going up. That market is growing, so we have a good market, fortunately, and we can make a living doing that. Now that we don't make any money on the records, and the record company's role in the whole thing has changed a lot. Now it's all about streaming, and it's all about the algorithms on the internet, and it's a whole different ballgame. And they have different ways of manipulating. In the old days with Warner Bros. And the major label, in the age of the major labels, they could manipulate, and they would buy their way in on the charts and on MTV and all that. So maybe it's a little more democratic these days. I don't know really, but now it's all about the tech companies, that side of it. But I think that one good side effect is that people, it tends to, the subcultures, the smaller genres, they have grown really big because people can create their own forums, and they can get together worldwide about small things and sub-genres. And I think that it has helped the lesser popular kinds of music in a way.
Well,
they just find they find each other in these really dark metal types or goth or whatever. They find each other, or certain dance genres. They find each other all around the world. And
who would have thought pirate metal would be such a big thing?
Yeah. Yes.
So,
and this whole Viking metal
oh
thing
God, that's
is
everywhere too, isn't it?
yeah.
It's but I mean, you guys have been pretty much straight up just good classic rock and roll for the majority of your existence.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You sort of started off as sort of a almost post-punk band, and
Yeah.
and sort of developed into that more rock and roll style that you've pretty much stuck with, but moved in your own directions. And what's I suppose is there any plans to sort of move beyond that in any way, or knowing that Laust has almost a pop career from what I've been able to find around the place?
Oh, Laust, the drummer, you mean?
Yes, yes.
So yeah. Well, that's He was already doing that kind of music when we met him, and I play with different people too. I play. I have I play with an opera singer. We play classical music, and
Oh wow.
and I play with some jazz people. You know, a lot of stuff like that going on. But we are pretty much, as you say, we came out of the punk, and we started out as a post-punk kind of band, and we are still. That's still the main, the core of DAD. It's the classic rock and the post-punk thing all mixed up. And what we listened to in the early days is still our references, and it's still, they can feel that when we write in the rehearsal room, we still tend, that's how we sound. And I think we have accepted that by now.
Now, given that you guys are a substantially well-known artist in your home country, how do you go traveling the rest of the world where you may not have had the reach that you do have at home? Have you come across any places that you weren't expecting to have the crowd reaction that you get?
Yeah, both ways. If we go to like Leeds in the UK, we are playing in a toilet, and maybe 12 people will come see us.
Oh dear!
And then we play Lisbon. We play like the bullfighting arena in Lisbon, and they all know the old songs, and it's wonderful. So even in Europe, the differences are really big. And as Sweden, then the Scandinavian countries, Sweden, Finland, and Norway is like, we're not as big as we are in Denmark, but we have had a long career there too, and we have a certain connection with those countries. And so that's great. And now we're going back to Australia, which is something I thought that would never happen. And people are actually buying tickets, so I think that's wonderful. And the people are looking forward to hearing the old songs from back then. So that's gotta be great.
Oh, absolutely! I've got a rather big week that week because the night before you play, the Black Crows are playing. Here, so going to that and going to go see you guys, and then on the Friday I've got some friends playing at another venue, so that'll be an entertaining week for an old guy. But anyway,
wonderful, yeah.
But really looking forward to having you guys along, and I think I've chewed up most of our time now. Have you got another few phoners after this one?
Not today. I have. Not today. I have a couple tomorrow, so we're fine. It's okay.
Excellent. Well, either way, look, thank you very much for joining us. I really can't wait to see you come out. Actually, I suppose before we go, something that I'm really keen on hearing is, seeing you haven't been out here for so long, how are you going to comprise your set list this time around? And are we going to get a good full headline show from you guys? So, hour and a half, 2 hour show.
Yeah, we are going to play at least 1.5 hours, and the set list are going to be, of course, we're going to play quite a few songs from the No Fuel album, and then the set is going to be pretty much like we played up here all summer, like based off festival set. So we're gonna give it all the best we can.
Awesome. So, just out of interest as well, look, if you were to create your own set list that didn't take into account what the fans wanted to hear, but what you wanted to hear personally from your own back catalogue, where would you go with that?
Well, it would be pretty close that the one to the one we're playing to the set list we will be playing in Australia, and I would probably choose. I would just choose like 5 to 10 more songs. Actually, I think we try to pick out songs that are the most DAD songs you can get. Something that really represents our kind of rock and roll. And of course, some of the songs I might leave out. Some of the songs, if it was for my personal pleasure, I would leave out some of the songs that we play every night.
Yeah, because you've done them to death.
I know exactly how I can play them in my sleep. So I would choose something more challenging, maybe. But
well, how about trying to play them backwards?
Yeah, or you could do that. Yeah, but I don't think anyone would enjoy that. Not even me.
Look, what would be your favorite song then? Out of everything that you've ever written and everything that you get to play, where would you sort of hang your hat and say, this is the song that I'm happiest to this?
Well, I think it's Sleeping My Day Away. I think that's the quintessential DAD song. That's the one. I think it captures the melody, the kind of melody of from Scandinavia, and the melancholy, and also the sense of humor in the lyrics and the rock energy. I think it captures the elements that we consist of.
Excellent. Look, can't wait to see you guys. It's going to be a fantastic show, I'm sure. And you've got a great venue as well. The Zoo is a fantastic little venue that we've got here in Brisbane. It's played host to anyone who's come through this town. And it's going to be a great night. So have a safe trip out, and thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I'll see you there.
Cheers, Jacob. Catch you then. See you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.